Yes, you are. Okay. All right, ASAP. Bye-bye.
Oh, Lord. I almost started crying. Why? Yes. Talk to the people at Cleveland Clinic. They don't want to do the
Yes. Yes.
Judge, this is Daniel. He's the third chair who will be in your court right now. They're still messing around with stuff, but he's going to be in your court here at some point.
Okay.
Hi,
All right,
Judge.
welcome.
Very nice to meet you, ma'am.
Nice to meet you. So is he replacing anyone?
No, he's replacing Joe Ray, which obviously Joe Ray's been gone for a while, but
Oh, yeah.
I think the issue has been in our office. There's so many open spots that they're like trying to like keep some people in misdemeanor until they get those spots filled or whatever. So
I think I was promoted like 4 months ago, and so now they're slowly but surely letting me go up to felony.
Okay, well, welcome to the 187 District Court.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
we're happy to have him.
Yes, awesome.
I just want to make sure I'm the people.
Starting with, I don't know when, but he's kind of transitioning or whatever. He's in the third chair. So this is Norma. She's our coordinator. She's organized and going, and this is Deputy Lana. This is Caroline. She's our clerk.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
So we'll be here today.
Okay, good to know.
Norma, Andres Adame, has that case concluded? Andres Adame? Yes, has that case concluded? Oh, let me give this to you. It's with Robert Mallon.
Oh, yeah, I'll grab it.
Okay, then that's inside. Good.
Thank you.
So he's sitting today. He's still in this, so it's not for double duty, but anyway.
Okay, I guess I will do that. Thank you.
She's gonna be 2022 CR. She's a 45.
Are the parties here on Amber Stormy? All right. Brenda, are you ready? And can someone from the state stand in? All right, please come forward. Court is calling 2022 CR 3603, State of Texas versus Amber Denise Stormy. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Victor Gomez.
All right, and are you Ms. Stormy?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, it appears that you're proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family, household. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections?
No objection.
Ms. Stormy, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
All right, and we're going to go off the record. Probation, there's no application.
Okay, thank you.
Back on the record. Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family, household as a class A misdemeanor? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay, you need to speak up.
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? Okay, are you?
Yes, I'm
All right,
sorry.
here's the thing. Are you sure? I mean, do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand what's going on?
She's
Yes,
nervous, Judge.
All right.
She's very nervous.
Sorry, I'm really quiet.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, she has.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, she is, Judge.
Ms. Stormy, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is to proceed on the less included offense of assault, bodily injury, family, and household. Punishment is to be assessed at 86 days in the Bexar County Jail. There are no applications for community supervision or deferred adjudication. State will take in consideration County Court Cause number 679-224. There's to be credit for any time served, affirmative finding of family violence, no harmful or injurious contact with Helen Stormy. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. And I'll finish that. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then to the less included offense of assault, bodily injury, family, household. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence,
Yes, State Officer State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Stormy, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, gonna go off the record for a moment,
Yeah.
Brenda.
Yes. Do you have any objection to me adding
Well,
this to
after
the
this.
report?
Oh, okay. For me?
That might be helpful too.
All right, thank you. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty of the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family, or household. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, this Stormy has spent at least 86 days in jail. We're asking the court to give a credit, judgment sat. We're asking the court to follow the recommendation.
All right. State, have you had a chance to speak with the complainant?
I believe we have, Judge, and I believe she is not necessarily aware of the specific plea, but aware of a potential result.
All right. And Miss Stormy, what is your relationship to Helen?
She's my mom.
All right. So where are you living now?
Right now, I'm living with my dad.
So how often have you been using?
Oh, rarely.
What does that mean?
Like-
As I tell everybody, I'm not with you when you rarely use, so I don't know what that means.
I can't say never because never isn't a good answer, but I mean, it's been a good 5 months, 3 months.
So if I drug test you today, you're saying it's gonna be negative because I will drug test you
Yes,
today. You won't, okay. Because I have concerns.
Okay.
And my concerns are with the drug issue, as you understand. And what is the drug that you rarely use?
I smoke pot.
There was more going on than pot smoking here.
Well, at the time, I actually wasn't doing anything. She was under the impression that I was, so
I mean, but what have you used in the past?
really just pot.
What does that mean, really just pot?
I mean, I've taken Adderall or, prescription drugs, but not outside of that, no.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
16, 16.
So you have one child and that child is 16?
Yes.
Where's that child?
He lives with his father.
Why is that?
He chose to stay with his dad.
Why?
He just felt it would be in his best interest to
Why?
spend some time with him.
How does being in his best interest to spend some time with his father end up with his father, him living with his father permanently?
Well, it's not a permanent stay. He just, he's in between with his grandma and with his dad, but
So here's my concern. My concern is I'm reading this and it's your mom suspecting that you're using ice.
right.
So have you used ice in the past?
I mean, in the past, yes, but as of like now, no.
Probation?
Yes, Your Honor,
How long would it take to do a drug test on Miss Stormy?
we could do it right now.
All right. Are you ready to go now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you need water or anything?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you. If you could do a drug test for me, please.
Yes.
Just preemptively. Yes, you.
Let me get this concern.
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, no, I
The, Michelle did.
What case? Mhm. Okay, where's, let me see, Christopher Lopez? Yeah. Mr. Hernandez, could you come forward, please?
Yes, sir.
Are you available for a court?
Sure, why not?
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
No, actually, the jury's coming in now. Brenda, I said that and everybody perked up.
Which I'll be right back.
Okay, sure. And the case I'm going to take up next is Blas Barrientos, but just give me a moment till the court reporter comes back. And is the attorney, defense attorney here on Blas Barrientos? Okay, all right, thank you. The attorney is here.
So there was
Yeah, I'm here first.
Yes.
I have a florist. I'm gonna be outside doing some paperwork, but if you do call, I'll be right outside to be ready.
All right, thank you. And the paperwork is done?
No, Flores is just gonna be an announcement from this morning, but I'm working on the plea paperwork for someone else.
All right, okay, thank you. Are the parties ready on Kevin Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Yes,
if
sir.
you come forward, please. Deputy McGill. Ms. Abrams, come out. Can you let her that this is not for an application? All right, and is he going to be taken into custody today?
I think, I'm not sure if
Because there's no application.
there's no application. Judge. Yes.
Excuse me?
I said there's no application. Correct?
There is no application in this
So is
case.
he going into custody today?
It's a cap, ma'am. It's a cap of 12 months and I thought in regards to the cap that perhaps the court may want to do a PSI. I guess that's up to the court.
Does anyone need a PSI?
That would probably be good.
Okay. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 0816, state of Texas versus Kevin Anthony Johnson. Now parties announced for the record for the state.
Lorena Rummel for the state. State's
Yeah.
ready.
Miguel Hernandez for the defense. Defense is ready.
All right, and are you Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Johnson, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, ma'am. It's a state jail.
Mr. Johnson, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand your charge of publishing or threatening to publish intimate victim? Are these victim photos or,
Intimate
Or
visual
video.
material and
okay,
it's
because it's cut off.
video.
Video?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargaining agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargaining agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargaining agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Off the record for a moment. Ms. Abrams,
Yes.
this is Kevin Anthony Johnson.
Yes.
There's going to be a request for a PSI, but there are no applications.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We're back on the record. But you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargaining agreement, you are giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargaining agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnson, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargaining agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney?
Yes.
Did
Your
you
Honor.
understand it?
Yes, Your
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 12 months in the state jail facility. There's a $0 fine. There's no applications. There is to be no contact with the complainant. And there's an agreement that you will get credit for time served of 1 day on a judgment satisfied on the VPO case. What case is that? What's the case number?
It's a violation of a protective order. We're gonna have to do that in the county court.
Yeah, what's the case number?
I believe it's 640264.
Y'all want to add that case number to the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, sir. 640264. Six four zero two six four.
Yes. 11.
Sorry about that, Judge. It's out of county court 11 as well.
All right, so also as a part of the agreement is that the state agrees to give you 1 day and cause number 640264 to give you credit for time served under that and state that it's the judgment satisfied once you enter a plea to that. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And credit for time served under this case, which I'm obligated, well, not necessarily obligated, but I do give everyone credit for any time that they've served. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, sir.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. Defense will ask for credit for time served on a misdemeanor after this offense date. Here's the thing. If this case were open at the time you were in custody, the court will give you credit for any outside cases, just as long as you were in custody and this case was pending. Do you understand?
I think so. Yes. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. So did you understand that's outside the agreement? The court does not have to follow that. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Then to the offense is charged in indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
State any evidence.
State will offer state's exhibit number 1 and all its attachments.
Judge, we've had a chance to review, no objections.
Mr. Johnson, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call on the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Just for the court's knowledge, a lot of the text messages are at the back. The summary is in the front, the first 4 pages.
All right, thank you. All right, as reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Does he have any priors? Does anyone know?
I-
Have I ever been arrested before? For no trespass? Other than all this stuff, no.
Okay, so this is the only thing?
Other
Yeah.
than-
Well, they're,
No, he has a previous
Well,
charge
yeah, other than,
from 2019.
that's what this.
misdemeanor.
Because if he doesn't have
Which one?
any priors, and if nobody wants a pre-sentence investigation report, or if you have no evidence that you wish to present to me, no witnesses, then I can make a decision on this. But if you want PSI report, of course, we can have one done.
I understand.
Judge, I can go over his criminal history for the court. And that answer is with defense counsel on how he wants to proceed. He still has the violation of protective order. So I think defense was hoping we could plea him on that. And
So defense, do you wish to proceed?
If we could get just a short, I just want you to understand who this man is and
Okay, no, if you have witnesses, the only reason why I'm asking this is because there's a slight backlog with regards to PSI reports. And when I have cap offers, or if it's an offer where maybe someone is asking for deferred and the state doesn't want them to have it, then the only information really the PSI report will tell me is what their criminal background is, if they have it. And then if anybody want to present any other witnesses, they can. But if you don't want a PSI report, but you want a reset date for whatever witnesses you want to bring in, then I can give you a different reset date. It won't be so far in the future.
his criminal history stems with this particular victim.
Okay.
There was a case that came in as an assault that pled down to terroristic threats, and I can go over that criminal history with the court with defense's permission.
That's mainly the thing, Judge, is the prior history, so that the court understands who this young man is. And of course, we would be
Any
asking,
witnesses you want.
right?
Okay, so do you anticipate calling witnesses? I mean, and we're not going to do it today,
Right.
but I'm just trying to
I'd like to see
see.
my mom.
Yes, yes.
So,
If we could have yes, we could have probably at least one or two witnesses.
all right, and State, do you anticipate calling any witnesses?
No, I can just summarize his criminal history from the court if the defense
That's
is
fine.
fine with that, and then I have no witnesses to call that I'm aware of.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
All right, so I can either set this next week, or it have to be done when I come back in July. But even if I were to set it in July, I know that's still not going to be enough time for a PSI.
No, that's fine, Judge.
So Ms.
Next week, the only day that's really good for me is next Thursday, I believe.
You okay with that?
Well, yeah, well, I think my brother's on Tuesday. Wednesdays.
Oh, just let your defense attorney go.
Oh, I thought she was asking me. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, she's gonna be here.
When in July, Judge?
If we were to do it in July, it would have to be the week of the 18th, but not on the 18th. Ms. Ferguson, you have to.
It would either be the 21st.
That's fine with me.
July
21st is fine.
All
That's
right.
fine.
So, Brenna, if we can put this on the record.
I was right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be back on on July 21st, and it's my understanding no one is requesting a pre-sentence investigation report. Is that correct, defense?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, State, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll be back on July 21st. Ms. Ferguson, what time?
We can do 11. We'll do about 11.
All right, so that'll be at 11 a.m. Yes.
It's here, like I gotta come. here?
Yes, you'll be here.
Judge, I'll notify the court prior to that date if there's going to be any.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, if there's nothing else, just make sure you get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson.
That's it. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. But Sean, do we have an update? I'm sorry, Ms. Abrams, do we have an update on the UA?
Negative.
Okay, all right, great. Let's come up, please. All right, and Mr. Villarreal, this is your case. We're back on the record in 2022 CR 3603, State of Texas versus Amber Stormy. I'm glad that you were negative. You need to keep up the good work, okay?
Yes.
Alright. The court is going to follow your agreement. Court will sentence you to 86 days in the Bexar County Jail. Give you credit for any time served. Is this a judgment satisfied?
It's contemplation of parties, yes, Your Honor.
All right, show that the judgment is satisfied. Take in consideration County Court Cause number 679224. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, and there should be no harmful or injurious contact with Helen Stormy. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing further from the defense.
And I was gonna say,
Ms. Stormy, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. I'm going to tell you what I tell everybody else. Parents are a blessing. They're here. Hopefully your parent is a blessing. You've got to start treating your mother better. And guess what? If you think your mother is wrong about something, guess what you do? You smile, you accept it. And when you live in your mother's household, no matter how old you get, your mother's rules apply. I don't care if you're living in the apartment to her household, her rules apply.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, who is here on Gerardo Flores?
Yvette Martinez, Your Honor.
Yes, oh, come up. Where's your client? All right, where are we on this case?
Your Honor, today was our first appearance. We received an offer. And speaking with Mr. Flores, we would ask for time so I could review the discovery with him in person now that we've met.
Okay, do you have all the discovery?
I believe I do, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can I have a 30-day reset, please? All right, so we're gonna come back on July 28th, and that will be your plea deadline date, okay? Will that give you enough time to go over discovery with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so that will be your plea deadline date, and on the 28th, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide not to accept the state's offer, then the next step is going to be a jury trial or either a bench trial.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset date and then, a reset form, and then you'll be excused.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who is here for Raymond Amaya?
We're ready, Your Honor.
All right, they can come forward.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right, who is the prosecutor? All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 2566, State of Texas versus Raymond Amaya. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders,
for the defense?
Bobby Barrera, we're ready.
I'm sorry, is this for a sentencing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I can tell I didn't take it because there's nothing here, and I'm like, what? Okay, and are you Raymond Amaya? All right, I'm gonna need you to speak up for me so we can hear, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So that I can hear, and so that the court reporter can hear.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea of guilty on April 21st. You applied for deferred adjudication. There was a PSI done and a TAP evaluation done. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI state?
We have no judge, but there is no need to.
All right. Any objections to the PSI report?
We
stated
we have no
defense?
objections or amendments to the PSI factually or legally.
All right, according to your plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution to Angel Vargas of $1,100. And of course, there are other things that are outside the agreement, which includes the 7 years deferred adjudication, 200 hours community service restitution, no contact with Angel Vargas or Oscar Martinez, MRT, CATS 1 and 2 course, and gang evaluation. The state is recommending deferred adjudication. Is there anything you wish to say on your behalf of your client?
Not if it'll go in the recommendation. It's a very poor decision that he made. He's got a 22-month-old child. He's active in the child's life. The report reflects that he doesn't pay child support. Well, that means under court order, but he is helping provide money and necessities for the child. He is asking the court to follow the recommendation. The gang evaluation, I'm not even sure what that entails. The probation says there's no gang affiliation noted. I think he would benefit greatly, Judge, from some counseling, helping him cope with life stressors and maybe some mental health evaluation. I think one is set for August. But he's fully anxious to get his life in order and realizing he has to take care of his child and ready to do that.
Okay. How many children do you have?
I have one.
What's the age?
She's gonna be 2 next month.
All right. And where is she?
She's with her mother.
With her mother by herself or with her mother and her?
At her parents' house. Yeah.
All right. So we have a situation where the grandparents are raising grandchildren, really. Well, if you're not living on your own and you're living in the grandparents' house.
I'm not living with them.
Well, no. The mother of the child is living there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I know how it operates. We can say that I'm going to take care of the grandchild, but we already know the grandparents are doing the majority of the heavy lifting. So are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I wash dishes.
Where?
At Olive Garden.
Oh, hey, which one?
Southwest Military Drive.
So
Free breadsticks, Judge.
yeah. As a side note, why is it whenever I go there, Brenda, and I order a soup and salad and I'm going through the curbside, they're like, that'll be 50 minutes. I'm like, it's just, are they making soup from scratch for every customer who, I'm like, 50 minutes for salad? I'm like, may I come in and make that? But that's just a side note. So how far did you go in school?
Not far. I'm 9th grade.
All right, why did you drop out?
Just my mind wasn't on the right thing.
So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Just
All right, could you all please make sure you whisper? So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Just get it together for my daughter. And,
But what does that mean?
just provide for her and not make the same mistakes that I'm making or decisions that I'm making.
Okay, I understand what you're telling me, and I know part of what you're telling me is what you may feel that I want to hear, but I'm trying to figure out and put you on the right track, like where are you going with the rest of your life? Now, mind you, my mom always tells me this, everybody can't be, I don't know, working at NASA, because if everybody works at NASA, who's gonna be washing my dishes at Olive Garden, telling me it's 50-minute wait for my soup and salad? So everybody has a role to play on what they want to do with the rest of their life. So is being the dishwasher at Olive Garden, is that your dream job? Okay, so let's start there. What is your dream job?
I want to get certified for HVAC.
Okay, so what have you been doing to try to make that happen?
Nothing, Your Honor, to be honest with you.
All right, so that's the thing. You can talk about what you want to do and you can make plans for it, but you got to start doing, otherwise it's not going to happen. Now, I believe with HVAC, you need some sort of license. I don't know if that's a state license or what, but I do know when you have criminal cases, that may affect your ability to get licensed for certain things. This may not be the case, but you won't know if you don't pick up the phone and call somebody. All right. And if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I come out positive for a week.
All right, anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, so here's the thing. If you're trying to be a role model for your child, you got to put the drugs down. And I know people don't think weed is that bad or whatever, but while you're on probation, you're not allowed to do it. And then if you smoke weed and you think, oh, I'm gonna go take a bath and go see my daughter, trust me, little babies can smell everything. Their bodies get everything. They start smelling like different people. You don't want that, right? And you want your mind clear when you're with her. Okay. Is Child Protective Services involved at all or no?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. They say they want you to do the MRT course instead of the MTR course. So.
Yeah, we don't.
Here's-
MTR.
yeah. All right. And they want you to do CATs 1 and 2 in the gang evaluation. I think you have a lot on your plate. So this is my helping of you, because I'm going to put some things on your plate that you're going to have to do. MRT course. My understanding, that's teaching you how to do what's right from wrong and how to do things the right way. Here's my course for you, the MRT. Don't do what's wrong. For example, and this goes as far as CATs 1 and 2 is. If you don't pay for it, that means it's not yours, don't take it. You understand? Don't take it if you didn't pay for it. If you go to somebody's home and they ask you to leave, guess what, leave. And as a side note, because I know young people do this a lot, if there's a party, and let's say your attorney, well, I'm not going to say your attorney. Let's just say John Doe is inviting you to a party that he's been invited to. Guess what? You're not invited to that party because the people who are throwing the party didn't invite you. So don't go to places that other people are just inviting you to come along, because trouble happens. And here's the other thing I'm going to tell you. Nothing good happens after midnight. You need to be at your house. If you're not at your house at midnight, nothing good is going to happen. I can't, Brenda, in my history, I can't think of anything good that happened at midnight. Even when it's New Year's Eve and people are kissing at midnight, they end up kissing the wrong person. That causes problems. Still doesn't happen good. And then at midnight, people are a year older sometimes. And so don't do it. This is what I'm going to do for you. There is 7 years deferred adjudication. I'm going to want parenting classes. There's 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. I'm not requiring you to do that, but if you have it and you've already taken it, show it to probation. That includes the booster, and 40 of those hours will be waived. You are either going to get your GED or go back to high school, get your high school diploma, or either you are going to get some type of certification from a trade school. Once you do any of those things, the remaining hours of your community service restitution will be waived. You understand? So, but you must do one of those things. Then I'm going to want regular reporting. That's going to be in person or by Zoom. So if you can't report by Zoom, or probation says you have to report in person, you need to report in person. No excuses. Don't come back to me, in 3 months and nobody's seen you in 3 months, okay? I'm gonna do you live with your parents?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, we're gonna do field visits 1 time per month. And you've heard what I said about parents. When you live with your parents, their rules apply. So if they want the TV off at 10, the TV goes off at 10. There's going to be a gang evaluation. Do you belong to any gang? Okay. There's going to do the evaluation. If it turns out he doesn't belong to a gang, he won't be on gang supervision. If they say you are in a gang and you disagree with that, your attorney can come back to me and we'll have a conversation about that. But we're going to do a gang evaluation. I'm going to do, when's the last time you used marijuana?
Say like a day ago.
All right, we're going to do tests for levels. Those levels need to start going down, okay? And we'll do the mental health evaluation. I know it's scheduled for August the 25th, but I don't want him in my office. I just want, if he has mental health issues or something that's going on, just put him on the mental health caseload, the mid caseload, and then we can see if he needs medications or treatment or anything like that, okay? And there is to be restitution of $1,100 to Angel Vargas. There's to be no contact with Angel Vargas or Oscar Martinez. All right, proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Is there anything else that he needs? All right, is there anything else that you need from me in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and state, do you have a dismissal from me? The 2021 case?
I think we amended the indictment.
Oh, is that an amendment of the indictment?
Yes, Judge, and I think that case is already closed.
Okay. All right, we'll go off the record. So what's that tattooed on your neck? And was it painful?
It's my homeboy. My dead friend.
Okay, since when do you tattoo dead friends' names on your neck? See, that's why they think
He's
there's some
not-
gang affiliation going on.
It was more of like a brother to me. I've known him since middle school, so
So how did he die?
I got shot.
Okay. All right, so here's the thing. You're on deferred adjudication, right? All right. Sometimes people get deferred adjudication and they're excited to get it and they think, I'm gonna do great, I'm gonna do everything. But then immediately when they leave the courthouse and they see what conditions they have and they actually have to start doing it, that's when they slide off. But this is what you need to be thinking about. Every decision you make from here on out, you need to ask yourself, is this a decision that could possibly result in me going to prison for life? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And if there is, I think your attorney will tell you in this court, if there's an issue that you're having, something that you need that maybe is not in your conditions, if you reach out, we will give you help for that. Okay. But if you don't tell us, we don't know. All right. Good luck to you.
Your Honor, thank you very much. Appreciate the court's consideration.
You're welcome. All right, who's Emmanuel Suarez?
I think I maybe approach.
Yes, and probation, there is no application on this.
Thank you.
Hello,
Yeah, this is the one we would ask for the reset.
okay. All right, and what date are you requesting?
He gets off the monitor for July 27th, so I think day after that.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can I have a date after July 27th?
The 28th is on Thursday.
Maybe if we get up 28th is fine.
Okay.
20.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 3150, State of Texas versus Emmanuel Suarez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Joanne DeHoy.
All right, and are you Emmanuel Suarez?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Suarez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're waiving the enhancement factor.
Any objections to the waiver?
No objections, Your Honor.
Right. Allergies are killing me. Mrs. Suarez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna need you to speak up so the court.
Yes,
reporter can- Okay. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargaining agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargaining agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
That is my belief. Your Honor.
You believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Suarez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargaining agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There are no applications. There's $57 to SAPD for drug testing. If you fail to appear for sentencing, you will be subject to the full range of punishment. Do you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
All I gotta do is be here on the 28th, right?
At 9 a.m. Do you understand that to be the plea bargain
That's
agreement?
all I need to know.
Okay, so do you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, yeah.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense is charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
Yes, state offer Stacy's exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Your Honor, we have no objection. We signed it and reviewed it.
Mr. Warris is showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did
Yes.
you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty, and we will be back on July 28th for sentencing. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your courtesy. Thank you.
Caroline, here you go. All right, who are the parties on Vivian Vargas?
Jeffrey Martinez, Your Honor.
Thank you. And probation, this is for probation. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 4509, State of Texas versus Vivian Vasquez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
Defense.
Jeffrey Martinez, Your Honor.
And are you Vivian Vasquez? Showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Vasquez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Just 1 second. My computer keeps asking me if I want it to snooze now. I'm like, no. All right, next I'm going to show you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Vasquez, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a 3rd-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
I didn't understand.
Did you intend to enter into a plea bargain agreement and give up those rights? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
No,
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
yes, sir.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Vasquez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No,
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There's a $1,000 fine if you probated. State recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, sir.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There to be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours community service restitution, and a referral to felony drug court. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense is charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
Yes, Judge, state offer states exhibit 1 and all attachments.
The honor defense is no object.
Ms. Vasquez, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We would like to, Judge.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, as in reading the police report, she did consent to the search. She's asking today to be placed on 3 years probation and take responsibility for that. As you know, she's asking, also, Your Honor, there was an FTA from last week that asked that warrant be recalled so she could begin her probation today.
All right, Ms. Vasquez, is there anything you wish to say?
One additional thing, Your Honor, she did contact me that same last week on Monday at 4 o'clock. I let her know that we were out of time for court that day. We did file a motion in talking about coming and speaking about the FTA, we decided to take this route and do probation, so we'd ask for that. Thank you.
All right. But she did enter this plea voluntarily.
She very much so, Your Honor.
So you understand that the court, because I want the record to be clear, I don't want anyone doing a plea because they have an FTA. So that's not the reason for the plea, is it?
No, Your Honor, it just also was an option in order to get around it. Not because, but just an option.
Okay, but I want the record to be clear.
Not in any sense. She's doing the probation voluntarily, voluntarily with no duress.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Vasquez, is there anything you wish to say? All right. How many children do you have? And I need you to speak up so the court.
I have 3.
What are their ages?
My daughter's 25, my son's 17, and I have a 5-year-old boy.
5-year-old and just a 5-year-old?
My son, 5.
Okay.
And a 17-year-old.
All right. And is the 17-year-old and 5-year-old living with you?
Yes.
Are you living by yourself or with someone?
By myself.
And what's your drug of choice?
I don't do drugs. I smoke marijuana before.
All right. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Positive for marijuana.
Anything else? Where are you working?
I work for interim healthcare as a provider.
Doing what?
Patient care, providing services for the elderly as a home care provider.
So for Medicaid, Your Honor, it pays for individuals to be at someone's home where they're elderly and just do the, not as a nurse, but to do the trash, make sure they're fed. It's a job.
I don't allow that in my court. So I don't allow people to be home healthcare providers or work with minors when they're in my court. What I have discovered is that being a home healthcare provider, I think that's sort of like a calling, sort of like being a nurse is a calling. And if that's a field that you went into and you always wanted to go into, that's great. But sometimes what I've discovered is that people are just doing that job because it's a job. And I don't think allowing people who are on probation to be there would be good, because I don't think the persons that they're caring for know of their criminal history.
I understand.
So you're not going to be allowed to work that.
Yes, ma'am.
So then how are you going to make money? What are your plans?
I can apply at the bank. I've been looking at this position at Bank of America on Indeed. So I've submitted the application. My second option is Alorica. It's like a inbound calls for different companies that they go.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you 3 weeks because I think you should give people notice when you're leaving a job.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to give her 3 weeks. And after that 3 weeks time, she cannot be a home healthcare provider. So let me take out the handy dandy calendar. All right, so by July 14th, that is your last day. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Sentence you to 3 years in prison, suspended and probated for 3 years. There's $1,000 fine, probated. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment with minors and no employment as a home health care provider after July 14th. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. I'm going to want her tested for levels. Your levels had better be going down, you understand? I'm going to do a referral to felony drug court. And here's the thing, when you go to felony drug court, don't tell them this story that you're telling me, that the only thing you use is marijuana. You need to be open and honest with them, you understand? So what are you using and what have you used?
I've used methamphetamine before. I've smoked marijuana.
All right, so you be sure you let felony drug court know that.
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be 120 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide the proof of COVID vaccination. Court is not requiring you to get COVID vaccination, but if you do 40 of those hours will be waived. There's going to be parenting classes, and then the remaining of the hours will be waived upon completion of parenting classes. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month, random. Please tell the officer to check on the children. Probation, is there anything else that's needed?
No, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Just a warrant, your call, John.
Now,
Just a warrant, your
can
call.
you recall the warrant? I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, just remain in the courtroom. Probation will go over conditions with you and remain in the courtroom until the warrant is recalled.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who are the parties on Isaiah Gonzalez? Yes, what is happening with this case?
Yes, Your Honor, he has rejected the plea bargain offer.
All right, where's Isaiah Gonzalez?
So he has decided not to take the plea bargain offer.
All right. The state, when will you all be ready for jury trial?
I was able to speak to Michelle, who's at a doctor's appointment, and just, we were looking at the schedule and the number of cases. It looks like if the court would allow us the most open date, because this is, we anticipate this will be a more witness intensive case. And so we were hoping August 23rd is when there's an opening in the schedule.
All right, Ms. Ferguson? What would be a date for jury trial on Mr. Isaiah Gonzalez? And the state is saying they looked in August or something.
I can do August 23rd.
All right, your jury trial date is going to be August 23rd. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case. Do you understand, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
The only plea this court will accept is a plea that's open to the court.
Correct.
All right, and Ms. Fergus can give you a reset form. Be prepared for jury trial on that day.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who's here on Lopez? Then everybody's sprint. I'm gonna take a little break. All right, the court is calling 2016 CR 9023, State of Texas versus Robert Christopher Lopez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Michael Villarreal for the state.
for the defense?
Miguel Hernandez for the defense.
Ms. Gonzalez? All right, and are you Mr. Lopez? Are you Mr. Lopez?
Oh, yes.
All right. And my understanding, Mr. Hernandez, is that you've been appointed to represent Mr. Lopez today. Is that correct?
It is correct, Your Honor.
All right. Are you prepared to proceed?
We are prepared, Your Honor.
Mr. Lopez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
All right. Are you saying Robert Christopher Lopez Jr. is placed on deferred adjudication in 2016 CR 9023 for the offense of assault, family choking, strangulation on May 1st, 2017 for a period of 5 years and extended for a total of 1 year? Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 26, on or about the 8th day of June 2022 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Robert Christopher Lopez Jr., did then and there failed to comply with the rules, regulations, or instructions of the Bear County Community Supervision and Corrections Department duly diagnosed residential facility, and that the defendant has been unsuccessfully discharged from the program due to non-compliance with facility rules and medication management in violation of condition number 26.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Court will find violation of, sorry, did you understand by pleading true to violation of 26, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is finding violation of 26 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is to grant the state's motion and enter adjudication of guilt and assess punishment at 2 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and affirmative finding of family violence. The state is going to take into consideration a case JN number 1999693, which is an at-large assault bodily injury case. And it's just subject to the court's approval. It's the contemplation of the parties that the defendant get credit for his time in the Bexar County Jail, as well as the time he completed in SATF and ISF, which would be a total of 941 days combined.
Did he successfully complete SATA?
He did not successfully complete SATF. He did successfully complete ISF.
All right, so defense, is there a reason I should give him credit for SATA if he didn't successfully complete it?
Your Honor, I believe that because he has been in incarceration and he has, at least in his opinion, tried to complete these matters, Your Honor, we would ask that he be given credit for all this time, since he has not been free to do anything else and has been paying his debt to society. In speaking to him, he was willing to agree to the offer because he wants to get on with his life. Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lopez, if you had successfully completed SATA, then I would give you credit for that. But you haven't successfully completed that. So I will not give you credit for that. I will give you credit for ISF though. Okay.
Still has it.
Okay.
Still has it.
All right, so the court then is finding you guilty. I'm sorry, Mr. Lopez, are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
All right, and are you asking me to follow the plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
All right, then what the court will do, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Taking consideration JN number 1999693, give you credit for any time served and give you any credit for ISF. I didn't take this plea bargain agreement. Is there a no contact order or anything?
1 second, Judge. There was a no contact order. The individual's name was Erica, ERIKA, De Leon, DELEON.
All right, and there's been no contact with Erica De Leon. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And also because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, and because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. You're gonna have to do better. I understand when people have mental health issues, but you're gonna have to reach out and get help. Otherwise, you're gonna keep coming back to court and you're gonna look up one day and you're gonna find out that your minimum is 25 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
Appreciate
And you know what? And one of those files, I think I put my docket. Which one it is, I have no idea. So, like, oh, thank you. here for Yvette Martinez?
It's a violation report. That's great. So she's here.
All right, Yvette Martinez, could you come forward, please? Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right, so here's the thing. I don't take any of this as true because I haven't received any facts on the case. So for what you're here for. But anytime somebody has an intoxication case, they need to be on some sort of monitoring device.
Yes.
And you haven't appeared and you're saying that you're at work.
Well, it was my last day of training and I do take responsibility for not going. I did talk to my manager. She said, if you do miss this last day, then, you know, 'cause she already told me several times, you know, and told me, you keep missing, you keep doing this, keep doing that. I need my job. And I told her, okay, I made a promise to her in an email that I wouldn't miss. So I'm good now. I could take days off. I could do all that. I'm actually starting work. So I do apologize. I know there's no good excuse for that.
No, and see, here's the thing about that. When people think that they're putting their work first over their conditions, you can't work from the jail.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're here today and you could be going to jail today because you don't have, you know, what you're supposed to have. So you could be taking days off at the Bexar County Jail.
Would have been horrible. Yeah,
I don't
wanna
know.
miss it.
I mean, that's where you are now. Like right now, I could have the deputies take you in handcuffs and you'd be spending time at the Bexar County Jail because you chose work over following through on your conditions. You see, everything has consequences. Now, Ms. Ferguson, can you call her pretrial officer, Montemayor, and I want to know when she can get this monitor done. Like if they can get her in tomorrow, I want it in tomorrow. And if you don't have that monitor by tomorrow, if they can give that to you, what's going to end up happening, no excuses. Your attorney's going to come in and you may be going to jail. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
So just have a seat. We're going to see what is available.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Who's here on Vanessa Thatcher? All right, who's the prosecutor?
Judge, I haven't been conferring yet. What's happening, Judge, is that there's a witness that I need to contact on behalf of Ms. Thatcher. And once I do that, I'll have a better idea where we're going to be going with this. I only need a few days.
All right, because I mean, in the motion to revoke, it's her testing positive for drugs and not reporting.
That's correct.
So you want to confer with the state?
I can, Judge, but
All right.
I'll still be asking for the.
All right, if you confer with the state, please. Yes. Who's here on Ruben Rodriguez? I know I'm waiting for your attorney.
Judge,
Yes.
that's Richard Bengals, Mr. De La Guardia.
Del Puerto?
Yeah, I thought it's supposed to come in, but he hasn't been in.
Right, do you want to call him and see where
I
he
did
is?
call him, and
All right.
then he's supposed to be around.
All
taking
right.
care of stuff.
Just
So,
Just a moment.
and I did call, Richard's office as well. We're trying to get hold of him.
All right, let me see. Nora, is this an appointed case?
Hired.
Okay.
It's to my understanding that it's going to change some of the prior cases.
Who's here on Marcus Bennett?
My attorney is not present, he's out of town. We called yesterday to get a reset.
He's actually still in Canal County. Judge.
Who is his attorney?
John Perez. I saw him.
Okay, thank you. Is he in jury trial?
I don't know. Judge. There's somebody who's in Canal County.
All right, recall this.
Call for Tuesday.
Okay, yes, let's recall it for Tuesday. Get a reset form. We'll see you on Tuesday. Now, what happened with St. John? Oh, that's, all right, and we've done Lopez. We did Cardenas, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to see who we have left.
I don't have hardly anything left except Mr. Brooks.
All right, and Chrisman, can you make sure in the system it shows Charles Fox?
I did that already.
Okay.
You said St. John was going to be contested. Yes, ma'am. Yes, the date on that meeting. This is one. Can you get the one you signed?
Slip it through like a bank deposit.
Blake McCoy. Did Blake McCoy ever show up? All right, then just file the motion and I'll make a decision on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's what it's.
Hello. Hi, you have one of our Langlois clients in our court. Okay. Okay, so are you going to be on his case or no? Okay. All righty. Okay, so when do you anticipate, because he's in custody? Mhm. Okay. Well, what? Yeah, and it's the defendant is Vivian Rodriguez. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4 cases. Okay. Okay. Okay, no problem. What I'll do is I'll recall it for next week, just so we can see where we are since he's in custody. All right, thank you. Goodbye. Mr. Rodriguez, if you can come forward, please. All right. Mr. Rodriguez, your attorney is incapacitated, so he won't be able to represent you.
He passed away.
Uh,
What'd you say?
I said he's incapacitated. All right. So what's going to end up happening is there's going to be another attorney to represent you.
My
And I will,
attorney- My attorney passed away?
I did not say passed away. I said incapacitated.
Oh, okay.
All right. So there's going to be another attorney who's going to be representing you, and we'll know something by next week. So we'll have you brought over next week, okay? All right.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Nona, on Vivian Rodriguez, they say they will have things worked out by next week. So what date do you want to call him back? Okay, all right, so we'll put him down for the 28th.
Judge, if I can ask the question of the request.
Yes, just give me one moment. Can I see his college and not his college? Thatcher. I remember that because Becky Thatcher was the girl that Thomas Sawyer liked. But I think you're not on.
Becky Thatcher was familiar.
Yeah, that's why. That's the only person I know with the last name Thatcher. All right, yes, what is happening with Vanessa Thatcher?
Judge, we've conferred and I'm still asking the court for just a few days so that I can
All
make
right.
contact with the witness.
Is this going to be contested?
I don't think so, Judge. No, I would say. No.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, they say they need 2 days. I mean, well, a couple of days. Is that correct?
I think by Tuesday, Wednesday, that should be fine.
Okay.
We can do Tuesday.
All right, we'll see you back on June 28th. Ms. Thatcher, we'll have you brought back on June 28th.
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Maybe excuse me.
Oh, they're gonna give you a reset form.
Okay.
Caroline, here you go.
On the strand, they said June 24th at 10 a.m.
All right, can you come forward, please? And what time?
At 10.
All right, so you're going to go and report on June 24th at 10 a.m. If you are late, if you don't show, I'm going to immediately be given notice of that. And there's a chance that somebody's going to come to your house or your work to pick you up to take you into custody. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay. At 10 a.m., I'm writing it in. They will see you on June 24th at 10 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go. All right, who are the parties on Stephen Rhodes? And probation, this is no application.
Correct, Judge.
Is he going into custody today?
Judge, we were gonna ask for a Monday turn-in.
All right. Norma, is it okay for him to come in on Monday, the 27th?
Yes, sir.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 3007. Did I say 3 zeros or 2?
I wrote 3 zeros. No, 2 0, 3007.
All right, thank you. It's been a long week. State of Texas versus Stephen Rhodes. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state? Brittany Sparks. For the defense?
Will Brooks, Judge.
And are you Mr. Rhodes?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense have shown you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Wait,
No, that's wrong.
hold on. Can we start over?
Yeah, we do need to start over. It's just one of those days. It's like, all right. We're gonna pretend like nothing else happened. Who are the parties on Stephen Rhodes?
Brittany Sparks for the state.
Will Brooks for defendant, Stephen Rhodes, Judge.
Are you Mr. Rhodes?
Yes, ma'am. Hi.
This is not Groundhog Day. All right, defense, I'm sure you do the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, and yes, Your Honor.
All right, court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rhodes, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you court admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, you're charged with possession of controlled substance penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. Sorry, it's been long. It's been long. Did you understand the range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and
Yes,
up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm sorry, I need to drink some more water because of my allergies. Just a second. Right, did you understand if you have a plea bargaining agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargaining agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea bargaining agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call on the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you're giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rhodes, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Very much, yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at 6 months in the state jail facility, and there are no applications for community supervision or deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
only items that can be appealed are written pre-trial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No motions with rulings, Judge.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence.
Yes, Judge. State offer states exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objections to states one or attachments, Judge.
Mr. Rhodes, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. We'll come back on June 22nd for sentencing. I'm sorry, June 27th. See? Thank you.
Judge, for the purpose of the record, Mr. Rhodes' understanding would be that he would be subject to the full range of punishment if he does not show up for his sentencing to the 2 years.
All right, do you understand that, Mr. Rhodes?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, and we can go off the record, Mr. Rhodes, here's the thing. Don't use this as a time to go use, because you know what ends up happening usually when people do that? They end up overdosing. So if you have a drug or alcohol problem, which it appears that you do from my reading the report and from what your mother was saying, you should leave from this courtroom and you can go to any type of center. They have free drug places throughout the Bexar County that can help you. So you should probably find yourself an NA meeting or an AA meeting instead of going to use drugs. How old are you?
39.
All right, so it's time to stop this, right?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
And we're not on the record, but if you're drug tested today, what are the results gonna be?
They would be positive.
All right, so you've got to get your life together. And if, I'm not a part of the negotiations, but I can tell you, if there were a negotiation where you would be given probation, I would have most definitely put you in an inpatient facility or sent you to felony drug court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So where are you going when you leave from here?
My mother's care, staying with her.
No, you need to be going to get help with your drug problem.
Oh, yeah.
And so here's the thing. It appears from reading this that your mom may be a bit of an enabler, because parents always want to do what's best for their children. They always keep their homes open to their children. But don't go to her house and cause any problems. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to see you back here on Monday at 9 a.m., okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, and he just has a reset form to sign. Will. All right. Do we have anyone else? Oh, well, everyone, we are calling it a day. We'll be back on Monday at 9 a.m.